Well, hello there, friends. Another fantastic recipe today. We're going to make a mushroom sauce. Mushroom sauce you can serve with lamb, you can serve with beef, you can serve with chicken. You can just eat it. You can serve it with whatever makes you happy. It's a mushroom sauce on its own. So I'm going to show you how to make it. It's very simple. I have vinegar in there. I have wine in there. If you don't want wine, don't worry. Just put a little more extra broth or extra stock, whatever it is you're using. Very simple, friends. Mise en place. That means we got to get things ready. We got shallots. If you can't find shallots, put onion in there. Onion will be perfectly fine, okay? Shallots are a little more delicate. They're part of the lily family. It's a bulb, however you call it. And they're a little sweeter and they're more delicate to make a sauce. But you don't have shallots, don't worry about it, all right? I used the big Canadian shallots. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Look at this. Look at these babies. Look how gorgeous they are. The Canadian side shallots. That's delicious. So I got some thyme and rosemary. You don't like thyme? You don't like rosemary? Put oregano. Put whatever you want. Don't worry. Sage. Fabulous. I can make the same exact sauce with sage and it'll be fabulous. Okay? Sage is delicious also. Chop it very fine. And we got a garlic also. And I got a little chopped garlic. You can use my garlic puree. Okay? So I got a little broth in here on the stove going, a little stock. And if you have made my beef stock recipe, you can use it. It's easy. If you haven't made my beef stock recipe, what are you waiting for? All right, now, we're going to start with butter. We're going to saute the shallots or the onion, whichever one you have, until they caramelize slightly. This is, let me tell you about a sauce, folks. This is a basic way of making a sauce. Very simple. Nothing complicated. Nothing complicated, and this goes with everything. And as I explain all the time, friends, a sauce has to be built like anything, like any recipe, one layer at a time. And the secret of it, and for those of you that have not been to my channel, this is not a tic-tac-toc recipe where we're going to put everything real quick. We explain. While I'm waiting, instead of just cutting off and coming back when it's done, I'll tell you all about it. The secret of it, folks, is when you're done with a good sauce, you should be able to recognize all the flavors. All the flavors. So if I take my time right now to slowly caramelize my onion on my shallots, they'll be sweeter and they'll taste better. If I put all the ingredients at once, that's not going to happen. So it's very important that we do that. We're going to go slowly. We're not going fast. And then we're going to put some mushrooms, and then we're going to put some herbs. Mushrooms, friends, you can use regular mushrooms. You can use portobello mushroom. Sometimes you get them when they're very big like this. So what I do, I show you what I do, friends. I cut them in half, and then I cut them like that. And if they're too big, you still fold them, and you go like that. And if the tail is too big, the what do you call that? The stem is too big, you cut them off. So then you have little pieces. When you make a sauce, you don't want a big piece of mushroom right there. You don't want a big piece of mushroom. So it's easy. You cut them in half, and then cut them up and down. And if they're really too big, you can still fold them down and do this. You see? Very simple, right? All right? So we got mushrooms. I got portobello mushroom. Portobello mushroom, I usually remove the stem just like this. See? Remove it. Boom. Those are baby portobello mushroom, eh? You take them, cut them in half. Look, those are easier. Cut them in half and then put them up and down like that. That's simple. Very simple, eh? You don't want them to be big. Cut them in half. Cut little pieces. You don't want them to be too big, friend, because if they're too big, they're not going to make an elegant sauce. And we're looking for elegance all the time, right? So, the shallots are good. We're going to put some mushrooms in there. Regular mushrooms. Oh, those are baby portobello, and those are regular white mushroom. I know that's what you're going to find. You can put the fancy mushroom if you got them. You can put chanterelle, oyster mushrooms, whatever mushroom you can find wherever you are. Okay, trumpet mushroom. There's so many wonderful mushrooms you can use. So now, as we all know, mushrooms are full of water, right? So what do we do with the water? We get rid of it. And the best way to do that, friends, put a little salt in there. You're going to put salt in the sauce anyway. Perfect time to do it is now. Because the salt will help us extract the water from those mushrooms. We want all the water out of there, friends. Water dilutes flavor. So we're going to increase the heat. If you happen to have a porcini mushroom salt, it's actually quite delicious, friends. It's a salt with porcini in it. I got some in here, somewhere in my drawer. Yes, right here, porcini mushroom salt. If you've never tried this, this is fabulous. I already put my salt in it, so I'm not going to do it. But just in case, here you go, just a little bit more porcini mushroom salt. All right? If you could be here right now, you're starting to smell. I want you to see what's happening here, friends, so you'll understand it. And this segment, this video is only about sauces. We're going to do a lot of those. We're going to take every sauce and we're going to make a segment just on that. So if one day you're cooking a steak, you're cooking a lamb chop, you're cooking a piece of chicken, and you say, I want a mushroom sauce with it, go to the channel, go into sauces, and you'll see all of our sauces are going to be listed there so you can just make them. And we're not going to cook a piece of chicken or a piece of meat. We're not going to cook anything. We're just going to make sauces. So the rest of it, you can certainly come if you want to learn how to make a steak, if you want to make a tenderloin, you're going to make it, then you go to the channel and you watch those. There's a lot of fabulous video out there. I want you to watch them. You notice, folks, how much water is coming out of there? If I were to put my hand in there for a second, it would be all wet because of all the steam. And then not only that, a lot of people say, I don't like mushroom. Let me tell you, I've been in this business 50 years. You know how many times people say to me, can I leave the mushroom out of my sauce? I said, yeah, of course you can leave them out of the sauce, but let me make it for you. If you don't like it, I'll make you another sauce without the mushroom. Unless they were just being polite. I say 100% of my customers always say, you know what? I like your mushroom. What do you do special? I get rid of the water. And look at it right there, folks. Look at it in there, folks. You see right there? That's the enemy. Right there. Water dilutes flavor and destroys texture. And I explained it better when I said, have you ever had a canned mushroom? Have you ever had a canned mushroom? The canned mushroom, you put it in your mouth, you have a nightmare for 3 days. You chew on it, it's like, ugh. So that's what you want to do. You want to get rid of the water, intensify in the flavor, work out on the texture. This is going to be fabulous, I'm telling you. We got to get rid of all that water right there. So it takes a little while. It takes a few minutes, but we want to caramelize the onion. We want to caramelize also. You'll see in a minute, when there's no more water in this pan, you'll see what's going to happen. So I'll tell you what we're going to do, folks. To make the video go a little shorter, we're going to let this reduce, and we're going to come back, and it's going to take about 2.5, 3 minutes, okay? We're going to come back in 2 or 3 minutes, then you'll see what's going to happen. Okay, and another thing that I like to do, friends, I want to show you. First of all the water is gone, but I like to clean the side of the pot. This is a reduction saucepan that I got there. It's best to make a sauce in a reduction saucepan for so many ways, but to allow reductions is really, really much better. Great design. Now look, you see, all of the water is gone, a little bit of moisture left, but very, very little. Now let's put the rest of the ingredient, and what order do we put them in? Okay, number one, we have established shallots or onion, caramelize them. Mushroom, number two, to get rid of the water. Okay, if we were to put wine or broth or stock on top of the mushroom when they haven't released the water, guess what? They will never release their water. Okay, when do we put the garlic? We put the garlic whenever we're ready to put some moisture. I'm going to put some moisture in a minute, okay? So I got chopped garlic. I got fresh thyme, fresh rosemary. You can put oregano. You can put whatever herbs you want to put in here, right? We're going to mix them up. We're going to mix them up. Now, what happened is the second the garlic releases its fragrance, which will be about a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds after you put it in. As soon as it reaches 148 degrees, the garlic releases its fragrance. And okay, I can smell it now. So next ingredient, remember I'm going to build one layer on top of the next. Okay, this is how you make a perfect sauce that has depth to it. We're going to put a little bit of the balsamic vinegar. You don't have balsamic vinegar? Then don't put it in. Don't worry. It'll be all right. I'd rather you, if you don't have a sweet aged balsamic vinegar, I'd rather you don't put it in, okay? If you have it, this is my famous fig balsamic vinegar I put in. You don't have any? Don't worry. Don't put it in. We're going to put some wine in there now, okay? So it's very important, layers on top of layers. And we're going to let the wine reduce. Measure carefully, okay? It's about, I don't know, about a cup of wine I put in. Now I'm going to bring it on high because I need to reduce all the alcohol. Let me explain. It's very important that I explain everything. So then you know how to make it, for friends, okay? See, as simple as it is, you would be amazed at how many people just don't follow the order. You got to follow the order, okay? So like I say, vinegar, you don't have it, don't worry about it. Wine, I use a regular red wine. This is a Shiraz. I like a thick, full body wine. People say, what kind of wine do I use for cooking? Use the wine you're willing to drink. If you're willing to drink a $3 bottle of wine, use a $3 bottle of wine. If you're not willing to drink it, then don't put it in the sauce. It doesn't get any better if you cook it 15 minutes. I promise you, wine don't get any better if you cook it 15, 20 minutes. Okay? Quite the contrary. Okay, you start with a bad bottle of wine, you're gonna end up with a bad sauce. Don't think because it's only for cooking, I'm gonna put a $3 bottle of wine in there, it's gonna be delicious. No, it's not. I promise you. Buy the wine you can afford to drink. Use a Cabernet Sauvignon, use a Shiraz, use a Bordeaux, use a whatever makes you happy. That's the whole idea. There's no right or wrong. If it makes you happy to drink it, it'll make you happy to cook with it. And you know, you need 1 cup. What's the big deal, right? You save the other bottle for you to drink for dinner. All right? You don't want wine? You say a lot of people can't have wine because of, you know, whatever purpose, whatever reason, it doesn't matter to me. Use extra broth or extra stock. That's all. It's very simple. Don't worry about it. It's just cooking. You know, we're not sending a man on the moon where we got to land right there. All right? We're making a mushroom sauce, friends. It doesn't matter. Make it your way. It's your sauce. Okay? There's no right or wrong. But it's important that when you finish, I want you to be able to test the shallots and the mushroom and the herbs and the garlic and the vinegar and the wine, all this in different layers. The idea of a good sauce is like it comes in layers in your mouth. It's not like, I'll explain it, because I got to wait for the wine to reduce, right? Because you can't put the broth on top of it, otherwise the wine won't reduce. Sometimes you go to dinner and you eat a steak or you eat a piece of fish, right? And you put it in your mouth and you're having a conversation with someone, right? And then I'm just kind of imagining people who have never been to my channel, right? So I gotta wait. And I'm still forgetting the story. So we go out to dinner, right? And you eat, and you're having a conversation with somebody, and you just keep talking and you keep talking and you're eating, right? And sometime you go to a restaurant, you put a bite and you put it in your mouth and you go, oh my God. That is a sauce with dimensions. That is a sauce that has depth to it instead of like a sauce, excuse me, a sauce, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, I hope you know what I'm trying to say. Dimensions is everything in cooking, all right? Reduce the wine, reduce the wine, reduce the wine. How do we know it's reduced? Here's what you do, my friend. You take a spoon and you test it. It's hot. If it's good, then you put your broth on it. If it's no good, keep reducing it, my friend. Keep reducing it if it's no good. Okay, if you start with a decent bottle of wine, you're going to reduce it. It's going to be nice and sweet, I promise you. Okay, but if you start with a bad bottle of wine, I don't care how long you cook, it's never going to be any good. All right, so look, I got my broth, and for those of you that have made it, you know this is a beef broth. Okay, we're going to put a little beef broth in here. Okay, I'll give you the exact measurement. That was about a cup and a quarter, cup and a half, right, of beef broth. And I got to adjust the seasoning, and I got to put some black pepper in there, and I got to put more salt. I might as well put my porcini mushroom salt. Okay, because I was just testing it. It's very important, friends. You got to constantly test it. All right. So now, remember, you don't put the broth until the wine is reduced. If you put the broth before the wine is reduced, then guess what? The wine is not going to taste very good at all for you. You have to get rid of that alcohol. It's called reduction. That's the whole purpose of it. Okay, now, let's look at something here, friends. We got a sauce. Then I could certainly reduce to the right consistency. But now I got 4, 6 people for dinner, 8 people for dinner. If I reduce this to the right consistency, meaning enough so it coats the back of the spoon, it has nice thick consistency, it stays on my steak, on my chicken, on my fish, wherever it is that I'm using it for. I won't use this for fish, but it has to have the right consistency. So you can reduce it to the right consistency, but if you reduce it, you got nothing left, my friends. You got nothing left. By the time I'm done, I'll be lucky that they call it the reduction for a good reason. You got nothing left. So here's what I like to do. There's no reason for me to cook this any longer. No reason to cook it any longer. The stock is cooked. They're already cooked for 24 hours. The wine is reduced. Shallots are reduced. The mushrooms are cooked. Everything is down. So now what I need to do, if I reduce completely, like I said, I'm going to lose volume. So what I like to thicken it. So there's many ways of thickening it, friends. Some people say, oh, you got to have a roux. You got to have a... Not everybody has a roux at home, okay? You can use a cornstarch or arrowroot. It's easy, okay? Tapioca powder is another great thickener. Beurre manier. There's so many ways to thicken a sauce, folks. I make it the way everybody can make it. Everybody can have a little cornstarch or arrowroot. You mix it up with a little water, the enemy, and then you put it in. Now remember, whenever you're working with cornstarch, you want to make sure it's boiling, okay? And when you put it in, put little first. Put little first, friends, and see what happened. See what happened. Just look at it, okay? Look at it and say, oh, okay, this is still too thin. Remember now, cornstarch works right away. You put it in, and within maximum a minute, you know exactly what you're going to get. All right, so don't put too much of it. Put just a little bit more. See, that's the way I like to do it, friends. I like to put a little bit at a time. You see? And then we're going to look at it in a minute. We're going to look at it again in a minute. We'll look at it together, okay? Let's take a spoon. Not this one, I already used it. So let's get that right there. Look at this, friends. Look how beautiful that is. You see? Look at that sauce. It's still a little too thin, you see? Just a little too thin. Not much thicker. Now, we're going to finish it up with a little butter. But let's test it again, eh? Oh, it's hot. Whew! It's delicious, but it's hot. All right, so it needs to be a little thicker. So, remember, mix it, put it in. All right, so now I think that's going to do it. All right, so now, friends, you can certainly add butter to this right now and serve this on top of anything, my friend. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is, friends. Look at this. Look how gorgeous. You can put this on anything, friends, I promise you. Or you can put a little cream in it. Why don't we do that so you see it? I want you to see it. I want you to see what happened when you put a little cream in there. Let's change the whole thing, okay? Let's change the whole thing right there, friends. I promise you. You put a little bit of cream in there. Okay, pay attention. You watch. It's going to be very little cream, friends. Look. You know, I'm not going to measure it but I want you to see it. Look, a little cream that was. You see how little that was? Okay, maybe just a little bit more. Now you put it, see, very little, right? Put as much or as little as you want. It's really, really, really up to you. Just a little bit more. What do you think? Okay, I just wanted a nice color changes. You see? Right there, my friend. Look how beautiful that is. You can pour this on anything. I don't know, lamb chop. Pour just a little bit more. You think I'm going to get it together? Eventually, right? All right, so now turn the heat off. Because I'm going to show you the most important thing we need to do now is now we need to put a little butter in there. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now, how do we put butter? Well, we turn the heat off. We make sure there's no heat at all, okay? And then we take a little butter, or whatever amount you want, and you put it in, friends, and mix it up right away. You do not want it to separate. Remember when we put the butter, when we clarify butter, we bring it to boil. That's how you separate it. You can bring it to boil. Well, the last thing I want to do here, my friend, is separate my butter. I want it to be creamy, so I don't want it to separate. Now, at this point, you could put a little bit of chopped parsley in here for extra flavor, no, extra color. Matter of fact, I think I have some. I'm going to put some in there, my friend. You'll see. It'll really, really transform. If you have it, don't be afraid to put it in. I think I got some because I was ready for another recipe I had in here, but I'm going to use it for here. There's a little chopped parsley, you see? And right there, of course, you can make it a little lighter if you want. If you're going to serve it with pasta, I think you want to make it a little lighter. This is really, there's no right or wrong here, my friend. It's whatever makes you happy, okay? And voila. Right there, look how beautiful that is. We're going to take it, and I'm going to put it in a gooseneck. I got a gooseneck right here. So remember, I always have a little extra stock on my kitchen counter. I always have a little extra stock. But again, and then we put it in a gooseneck. Look how gorgeous that is, friends. Look how beautiful that sauce is. Look at this. You see how beautiful that is? Let me tell you something, friends. Now you know how to make a perfect sauce. And the beauty is, not only do you know how to make a perfect sauce, but you can change the flavor. You can make it your own. Remember, change the herb. Put tarragon in there. Put sage in there. Put whatever you want in here. This is a very simple sauce to make. Put a chopped parsley right there on top. You put this on top of the table. They'll fight for it. Friends, an easy mushroom sauce. Remember, you can put the wine. You don't have the vinegar. Don't worry about it. Put some nice broth with it, and you'll be perfectly fine. Enjoy beautiful mushroom sauce. I hope you enjoyed the segment. Remember, ring the bell. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. We'll see you next week with another fantastic video. Thanks for watching.